Live from the Heartland Mamas studios, this is the Heartland Mamas Podcast. I'm your host, Heidi Henry. The Heartland Mamas Podcast can be found on all podcast platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and probably part of the Demcast USA network. As of today, we have 285 days left until the November 5th, 2024 election, where we get to save the USA from certain destruction if we don't get Democrats elected up and down the ticket, flip it over and vote for your judges. So today is dictionary day, and we were supposed to do this a couple weeks ago, but it's been really cold where I live, and I live on a farm. When the weather is bad, I work all the time. So that's what I've been doing. So anyway, let's talk about dictionary day, because sometimes people bandy about words like they really know what they mean, and they don't. Today we're going to talk about governmental structure. So from the Merriam-Webster's, as well as some governmental websites and Harvard University, we're going to talk about what kind of government the USA has. What type of government are we? So the United States is a representative democracy. This means that our government is elected by citizens. Here, citizens vote for the government officials. These officials represent the citizens' ideas and concerns in government. That's what we are, folks. That's our legal definition. So why do people call it a republic or a constitutional republic? Like that means that they can change the rules at any moment, which they can't. And what does a constitutional republic mean in simple terms? And a constitutional republic is a state where the chief executive, the president, and the representatives, Congress, are elected, and the rules are set down in a written constitution like they did at our country's founding. What is a republic in simple terms? A republic is a form of government in which the people elect or choose their leaders. In most countries with a republican, small r, government, the people elect the head of the government, such as the president. They also elect other people called representatives to make laws. And then, so what's the simple definition of democracy? Democracy is often said to mean rule by the people. An example of this is any system of government in which people vote their elected representatives into representative service. So what did I just read? A whole bunch of the same thing. A rose by any other name is still a rose, right? Isn't that the saying? Well, I'm telling you. All those words that they throw at you, like it means that they know something you don't know, means that they don't really know what they're talking about, because it means the same thing. So the people elect a president. The people elect a Congress. The people, in some places, elect a dog catcher. That's how it works, whether you're a republic, a constitutional republic, or a democracy. Or a representative democracy. It means all the same damn thing. There's many words for the word snow in Eskimo, and we have many words to describe what we do here in the United States, and they all mean the same thing. And it doesn't mean that these people don't mean well. It just means that they were probably not great students in school, that they may have been homeschooled by people who weren't great students in school. And it might mean that they can't open a dictionary, or pick up your phone and ask it a question, because it can tell you how to spell a word, even if you say it phonetically, and it can tell you what that word means. So I just want to relate to you an astounding conversation I had with someone. As cold as it was, I was going in for coffee to meet a friend. I was going to drink cocoa because I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I was going to go in, and somebody ran up to me like they were going to, I don't know, beat me. And so I just stopped and I looked at her, and she said, I just want you to know that we the people want to live in a republic run by Republicans, and we're sick of living in a democracy run by Democrats. And I looked at her and I thought, okay, honey. I said, big R or little r? Big D or little d? I don't understand what you're saying. And I wanted her to rub her two little brain cells together and try to get a spark and make some sense, because I said to her, you're confusing political party names with systems of government. I said, they're not the same thing. That's not how any of this works. I said, if we elect Republicans, we still live in a democracy. I said, you need to, pick up a book and read. And I said it a little nicer than that. I said, I think you're confused about the definition of these words. Well, then she looked at me like a trout I just pulled out of the lake and threw up on the beach. And she just was like, blah, blah, blah. It was kind of comical, but she was giving me a headache and I had someplace to be. And she's like, you don't understand. It's called a democracy when Democrats are in office, and it's called a republic when Republicans are in office. And I'm like, no, ma'am, that's not how any of this works. That's not how government works. That's not, I said, you're thinking of something that isn't correct. I said, those aren't facts. I said, and she goes, I learned all about it on Telegram. And like, here's me. I don't know anything about Telegram. To me, it sounds like Twitter for dumb people, but what do I know? So, because I don't do Twitter either. I left Twitter a long time ago. It's just a lot of, it's a big time suck, and I don't have time for that. Although I love cat videos on TikTok. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. So, she just was not going to let it go. And I was I wasn't frozen because I had dressed appropriately for the weather, but she didn't even have a hat on, not even a red one. She had no gloves on. I thought, you've got to be freezing. I look at my phone and I go, oh, look at the time. I've got to get going, which was true. But I thought, sometimes with horses and people, I always say the same thing. Sometimes they only know what they know, and that's not that much. So when it's like that, it's your job either to educate, and if they refuse to grow, to have that growth, it's time to just walk away. I don't care if it's with a horse or a person. You can't change cement, right? You can only bust it up into little bits and let it become gravel. But I don't know. So she, I feel so bad for her because I know I kind of know her. She homeschools her kids, and I keep thinking our job as parents is to educate our children, to mentor our children, so as adults that they're able to financially, emotionally take care of themselves without us, independently without us. And I know on her compound that's not the case. I mean, her kids can probably shoot. I don't know if they can shoot as well as I can, but I just don't know. I don't know. I just feel bad for her children because they're just not going to know very much, and she's going to have flailing iron fists as long as she can maintain them. But if she's going to stand outside when it's 35 below wind chill factor without a hat and gloves, it's not going to be long, right? So I just had to go. So I went and I met my friend, and she actually followed me into the coffee shop, and I don't know if she wanted to engage further, but I was just not even going to give her any more time because here's the thing. This is what we're up against. We're up against people who have no clue how their government works. They have no clue what words mean. And furthermore, they're not interested, right? It's confirmation bias for them. It's telling them to believe what they think is true. So I just, confirmation bias, we'll talk about that again. I know I talked about it 2 years ago, but it's still going on now. So anyway, from the edge of the Great Red Divide, where I live, this has been the Heartland Mamas Podcast. I'm your host, Heidi Henry. Vote blue no matter who. We need better public education. Take care. Stay warm. Enjoy the snow melt. Bye-bye.